Brought to you in part by Monadnock Flooring and Decorating, offering quality sales, service, and installation for over 35 years on Production Avenue next to Subaru of Keene. Hey everybody, welcome to A Culinary Journey. This thing is marvelous. I'm Luca, but you're not paying attention to that. You're paying attention to this chocolate cake, which is absolutely incredible, but we'll talk about it later. And guess what? I'm not even giving out that recipe. I'll tell you where you can find it though. We are going to talk about my favorite last meal. Guess what just made the cut? This cake. We'll talk about that. We have a guest, Wendy Sampson. She made me the cake so she could get on the show. Bribery works every time. Oh, really, because I asked her. But we're going to be making pork braciole with pork loin today. And it's going to be incredible with some provolone and garlic and herbs. And I'm going to be making it just the way my mom used to make it. And the risotto. I want to show Wendy how to make risotto. And she loves to cook. Definitely is an amazing baker. And yeah, guess what? This culinary journey, it starts now. Hey everybody, welcome back to A Culinary Journey. This is the most amazing woman in the world. You know why? That cake. Wendy, how you doing?
I'm good, Luca.
Do you see that?
I see it.
You spent a lot of time making that.
I did spend a lot of time
with it. Wow, this is so much fun. Can we go now? Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. But no, we can't go away. We got to show you the reason why you're here.
That's right.
Right? So Wendy listens to my show, the radio show.
I do.
It's also because you're at the radio station.
I am.
Yeah, it's not like you get away from it. But you listen to the show and you said to me you wish you had the recipe for this.
I did.
And I was talking about, actually someone asked me what my last meal would be.
Right.
And I gave them my last meal, you know, the last thing you could eat. And I'm not lying about this. Chocolate cake would be in that.
Okay.
And now it's your chocolate cake. So
There
when
you
I'm
go.
ready for the last meal, you have to make it.
You have the right thing to finish it with.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just stick with that. But anyway, it started off, and my mom's not going to be too happy with this. It started off with her food, and now it's all about Wendy's food, but we won't get there. So we're making a risotto. You've never made a risotto before.
I have not.
Okay, so we're going to make a risotto, and with porcini mushrooms. We're going to talk about those in a second. And then we're going to be making a braciole, but usually I use pork butt, which is the shoulder, not the, you know, anyway. So we use the shoulder, but we're going to be using the loin and the fattier end, and that's going to make great flavor, and we're going to braise it in tomato sauce. So you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So for us to focus, we need to get rid of the cake.
Out of the
so
way.
why don't you move that away?
All right.
Bye. I'll miss you. I'll see. No, she'll be back. I mean, the cake will be back. Cake will be back. So let's get over here. I need you to start cutting me up some onions.
Okay.
For the base of everything we're doing. I have some stock going. I always give a vegetable or a chicken stock, depending on how you want to do your risotto. And that'll be, you know how to cut onions, right?
I do.
Did you watch my last show?
I did not.
See the guy watching? Oh, you got to see him. He's cutting onions. Anyway, so if you need help, call me.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing here is we got our stock going on a light boil. I'm going to shut that down, and then we need to get a big pan together to cook our risotto. Now, if you haven't cooked risotto before, the rice you use for risotto is arborio rice, and that rice is a short grain rice, and it has a lot of great starch in it, and that's what we're using right over here. And we need to get that starch out of there to make a nice creamy risotto. So that's what we're working on right there. So I'm going to put that again onto the side for right now because we don't need it yet. Oh, check that out.
Yes, I like that.
Isn't that awesome? I got a pretty awesome set here. While you're doing that, I'm going to start getting the braciole ready because these are more time-consuming items. We're going to cut away and come back, but generally a good risotto takes about 35 minutes or so. And braising these the braciole, will probably be about that much, if not a little bit more. And if you're using pork butt, which has a little more sinew and fat, you'll actually need to go a little further. So basically what I'm cutting is the equivalent to a pork chop. So I always get the smaller knife when I get guests on. You notice that? How'd that happen? So we're going to make a couple of these. And then for my pork chop, I'm going to cut that down and butterfly it. All right. How you doing over there? Good?
Pretty good. I'm chopping these, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
these chopped.
Do whatever you want to them at this point. You know,
Hope so,
I'm
because
not
that's
gonna
how they
tell-
kind of
Let
are.
me just tell you, you could do no wrong. I mean, it doesn't matter what happens to those right now. You don't understand. And another way I could do is this.
As
one
long as I
too.
don't put them on the chocolate cake. That wouldn't be good.
I don't think that would upset me for some reason. I don't know. I think I'll be okay with that too. All right, so let's butterfly out these are going to be huge. They're going to be really nice. So we'll make 2 of these so you and I have them. Again, these are a little less fatty, so we have to be, we can cook them for a while, but if you did from the pork butt or the shoulder, what you'll find is there's going to be more fat going throughout, and that just adds more flavor, and that's great for a long cooking technique. What we'll do here, oh, I don't need to put that on yet. We got a while. Let's switch this board out with this board that has my plastic wrap already on it, and we're going to flatten these out. If you don't want to do it on a cutting board, well, we'll do it on a cutting board, but if you don't want to use plastic wrap, you could also use, those handy, what are those bags? Those Ziploc bags?
Yep.
Pop them in there and you pound it out and they won't go anywhere.
I do that. That's
Hey, you
what
know what I need? I need a top piece of plastic wrap. Do you know where that is? Oh, it's right there. Look. You were wondering what I was doing with that.
You told me to hang on to it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't let it go away. So I got my top piece and the bottom piece, and then I'll start banging away on this thing. How are your onions coming?
Good.
All right. So if your onions are coming good, I'm going to start getting my pan nice and hot, and I'll pound this out. I'm just letting out my frustration because I'm not eating chocolate cake yet. You think it's wrong if we were eating it while we were doing this?
Well, sometimes if you have dessert first,
It's a good
it's a good thing.
Nice. Look at that. I got a lazy Susan
Nice.
cutting board.
I like that.
Either that or I'm making a mess here. I'm just totally a mess right now. I'm so excited. All right. So let's talk about that recipe real quick for the chocolate cake.
Okay.
You heard that? You heard me talking to the ladies who came up with that recipe on the radio.
I did.
It was Julie and Lisa.
Lisa, yep.
And they're sisters, and they have a cookbook and a website. What's the cookbook called?
Bite me more.
I'm
Right?
sorry, I'm just not going to say it. What was it again?
Bite me more.
Okay.
And they have a
Again,
website.
and
BiteMeMore.com.
The Bite Me, yeah. Is it? Well, no. The cookbook is. First one is Bite Me,
Right.
and then the second one is
Bite me too. And then the website is
Bite Me More.
BiteMeMore.com.
Yeah. And that was after they went through a bunch of different names that they couldn't use. That's what I
only
found
imagine.
out. That we could only imagine. And then right on the front of the website, it was Chocolate Lovers Week. There was this Rice Krispie cake. Now it's made with Rice Krispies. It's a traditional chocolate cake, but with this Rice Krispie crunch. Mm-hmm. And Wendy said she wanted me to give her recipes, and I said, "How about if you make me the cake? I'll give you a recipe."
Little bribery.
Yeah, it goes far. So how are onions coming?
Very
Okay,
good.
Let's go. Did you say barely?
Very good.
Oh, that's like, wait a second. Again, this is only a 22-minute show. I'm gonna grab a little bit from my
Okay, just
first
a little,
set,
huh?
just a little, and I got my oil and my onions in here. All right, we got that started. So now what I need to do is render them down or sweat them down. It's basically just kind of getting the flavor out, getting them translucent, and then what I want to do is add a little seasoning to this. So I'm going to add a little bit of my Ariosto seasoning. My Ariosto.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know. All right, you know you made it when you have your own seasoning.
That's right.
Oh, that's what Emerald told me. He didn't really tell me. I dreamt it, but I'm going with that. I'm going to start getting this ready too. So I get a little bit of my seasoning, and then a little bit of that porcini. Now let's talk about porcini. These are either porcini in Italian or cèpe in French. They're a earthy, amazing flavored mushroom. Go ahead, smell them. When they're dry, they just enhances tremendously. They pick them around the end of August, the beginning of September, and you can get them fresh. But mostly in the United States, we'll find them dry.
Dry.
And once they dry them out, the flavor intensifies. I mean, it just like pops. So we're going to cook some in the beginning of our setup here, and they're just going to kind of give a little bit of flavor. You could even pulse these to a fine powder.
Okay.
And it just kind of really intensifies. But I'm just going to put a little bit in. And then we're going to put our arborio rice in. We have the onions, we have that. And we'll put some arborio rice. In this case, I'll probably just put, this is about a quart of the rice. Let's do it all. We have a lot of people. Everybody wants some risotto? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't think you'd come to a half-hour show and get risotto. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of add a little salt to that. Again, season as we go. And we use the kosher salt. And now I'm going to kind of let this all toast together. So this is already different than a regular rice process, right? Because usually it's you put the water in, a cup and a half, and then put a cup of rice after the water boils, mix, top, you're done. Well, no, what we need to do here is, one, toast up the rice a little bit, almost like this rice pilaf toasting up. And what we're going to do to this is not only get this nice and nutty at this point, but then as we add water to it, we'll extract starch, and that's what gives you creaminess.
Okay.
And at the end, you cheat with some butter. Well, why even go there? All right, here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use that same spice blend. We'll add that on both sides. Ooh, there's a good amount in there. So this is a really nice blend. There's about 13 different herbs in there. And then half of it's salt. The rest of it is those herbs. But it's not a salty blend. I'm just going to rub it. Now, the only thing I need you to do, since you have a spoon, let's put some garlic in there. And parsley.
Just mix it around or chunk it?
Yeah, put it all over.
Okay,
go nuts.
All right. I love garlic.
Whoa, that's a lot of garlic, yeah.
Well,
but then again, you can do no wrong. Yeah. Yeah, trust me, anything you do is going to be fine by me today. So you have, put your garlic in, and then we're going to put some parsley and some parmigiano, grated parmigiano, and some provolone, all right? And then we're going to roll those up. But what I like, so coming back to this, right? I'm getting it nice and toasty. And you almost you'll get a little nuttiness out of it.
Was this the second thing?
You can put some pepper.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't need to. It was parsley, parmigiano, which sounds like pepper.
Yeah.
It sounds like pepper. I can't wait for the cake. Seriously, why are we even going through the motions here?
And what else?
And some pieces of provolone, so a nice amount of provolone. Like that. Put about that much on the other one. And then we're going to roll these babies up. So, into like roulades. You want to roll them?
Am I rolling them this way?
Any way you want to roll them. I told you. At this point, it doesn't matter. So I got all my seasoning in here. I got salt. I got my ariosto. I got all those seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit of red wine. And love that sizzle. It means everything's hot. Do not walk away from your risotto rice, especially at this point. What's going to happen, if you decide to walk away right now, you're going to burn your rice, and you're going to taste it later on. How are they coming? Ooh, this is going to be a mess. That's so much fun.
Yeah, but
I feel
looks so
like,
good.
You know what? Wait, what happens after the show? If this is my last meal, what do I do?
I don't know.
I don't
have dessert.
I'm in trouble. All right. I think that's my mom calling me. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to get our first bunch of dessert. I'm going to have to fix those. There's a little bit of a rip that I ripped them. Again, once again, too excited. So come over here, Wendy, real quick. I'm going to show you. See how nice and dry and just coated? What I'm going to do is put enough vegetable stock or chicken stock or whatever you use. In this case, I'm using a vegetable stock.
Okay.
In there so it just covers the top. And I'm going to get this down onto medium-high. And I'm going to let the starches cook out of the rice until it becomes dry again. And then I'm going to add some more. So we'll do that.
Yep.
What I'm going to do is we're going to tie these up really quickly. We're going to get these in the pan, clean up a little bit. We'll start getting our braise together. And when we start getting those two things together, we'll drink and eat the cake.
All
so
right.
Don't go away, because we'll be right back, I think. Don't go away. Hey everybody, welcome back to A Culinary Journey. I'm Luca Paris, and
I'm Wendy Sampson.
I love that. You know, every once in a while I do that. No one's paying attention, and they don't answer. I'm like, I guess I'm by myself. We're getting too excited to cook this. I'm going to turn this over to the side. Let's go back to the risotto. So we're making risotto.
We are.
And we're making braciole. My final meal.
That's right.
I never thought I'd make it on the air. Look, I want the recipe to your final meal. That sounds a little morbid.
It does.
Yeah, and then you bring chocolate cake to the party. Anyway, so if you're checking this out, and we've already gone through one time where it got dry and I added some more stock to it. But if you check out the rice, it's starting to, one, let out some of the creaminess. You could almost see that coming out as it gets thicker. And two, cooking. But it gets dry each time. So once it gets dry, I go back to the stock that I have going. And it's a hot stock, just in case you were wondering. Now the key too is make sure that your stock is the same temperature as your rice, because every time,
So it didn't stop cooking.
right, it'll stop cooking and it'll take longer, and then you won't get that same creaminess you're looking for. Okay, then I put it right back up to that same level. I have it on, right now we're on like low to medium low heat because I don't want it to cook too fast. And we just keep going back and forth to that. Over here on this side, I got my braciole going, so we're going to sear each side of it. We'll get a nice sear on each side. And you're going to be cutting up some porcini mushrooms for us. I'm going to salt the outside of our braciole with our kosher salt and black pepper. It's going to help create a nice little crust and also season our sauce. We're actually going to add some tomatoes and onions for this. Wendy's kind of rough chopping the dry porcini mushrooms we got, and they're kind of popping all over the place. And she's going to dry chop them because we're going to actually bloom them. We're going to put them in some red wine where we're going to add them to the risotto a little later. So it's, you know, not too much, right? You're about right. And we'll put those in there. We'll season them with a little bit of salt and pepper, and all that stuff is delicious. I mean, and the wine that we're getting out of this is kind of liquid gold. It's just incredible what it's going to, the flavor. Now, a lot of people do this in just regular water, warm water. You could bloom it in. We got some salt and pepper in there. I like to use the same wine or alcohol we are actually using in the dish, because now I'm just giving flavor to that. And if you want it to bloom a little quicker, you could warm up the wine. Probably do it in a pan or in the microwave too. It works real quick. So we'll leave that. We'll leave that in that corner.
Okay.
And then, oh, see all this stuff?
I do.
Bingo. Don't waste any flavor on my account. All right, so we just need a pair of tongs to see how we're searing on either side of these braciole. So got a little bit of sear on that side. We get the other side. And again, you could use, I mean, when we were just getting ready for this segment we're doing, we talked about even doing a beef braciole. And you could do that with a cut of beef that just generally needs to be braised. This one is almost going to be like a stuffed pork loin when we're done. That's
It looks really good.
Yeah. Give us a second. Chocolate cake. We should have this big, like, chocolate cake dancing across the screen. A picture of it everywhere. All right, so we're searing that. While we're searing that, let's get those onions in there too, because that's gonna be part of our braise also. And I'll go back to our risotto.
You want all of them in there?
Thickening up. Yeah, go put them all in there. Because the more flavor, the better. Now the thing is, when my mom used to make this for me, there were about 10 of these, and the pot was about this big, and it was about 3 cans of tomatoes. And then she made something for the rest of the family. And she never made me chocolate cake. Alrighty then. Oh, look at this risotto, how good it's coming out. And it's actually, this thing's gonna double and triple in size by the time we're done. We're gonna have a lot of rice.
Yes.
We're definitely gonna have a lot of rice. We're gonna have a lot of braciole. Well, I'll have a lot of braciole. And that's funny, because I said braciole when I first started, right? You heard me say that?
Yes.
And I just said braciole now, because that's what everybody thinks it's called, right? Is that,
You know, honestly, I didn't know how to say it, so when I asked you for it, I said, can you just
whatever it is.
give me the recipe for that Last Supper you mentioned?
So it's called braciole, or again, braciole would be the braccia, the shoulder, and that's where the meat would generally come from. And that's kind of the concept. You make it into medallions, you roll it up, and you sear it off, and it's absolutely yummy.
Yeah.
But at braciole, you actually pronounce every letter. But when I grew up in the Bronx, hey, let me get some braciole. You know, that's it for my Bronx imitation. That's all you get. All right, so here's where I kind of add in my Ariosto seasoning. This is not me just kind of like going, oh, you have to use this. It's in everything I do, and somebody goes, every once in a while someone will go, well, what's the ingredient that I don't have that you have in your dishes at the restaurant or when you cook?
And that's it?
It's right here. Hey,
and can you get that at
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Oh, sorry.
I can't do that.
Sorry.
Well, you can get it almost anywhere. It's not radio. I can't give out all that information.
Sorry.
No, but what's great, it's just coming onto the market, which is a lot of fun. And we're just playing with more recipes. We have those 4. We have a herb de Provence. We have a Moroccan spice blend, and everything we use at the restaurant. And we have what's called a barbecue rub. But I actually have used that in like Cajun seasoning. I've used that with just regular fish rubs. Right. It's a great, really fun rub. So we use them all over the place. And off the air, I'll tell you where we get it.
Okay.
Or you could go to lucascafe.com. Yeah. What? Did I say that out loud?
I didn't hear anything.
No. All right. So we need to add a little red wine into here. All right. Let's bring over your chocolate cake because these just need to cook now.
Okay.
Let's bring over the star of the show and let's talk about that. We'll bring over a little red wine. I mean, we'll pour a little red wine. She's bringing over.
Red wine?
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh.
Hold on.
Well.
Look at that thing. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I hope it tastes good. We haven't tried it yet.
That's beautiful. All right. Look, so how long did it take you to make that?
Well, if I'd had all the ingredients on hand like I was supposed to, or the right amount of them, it probably would have been a little quicker. But since I had to make 2 trips to the store last night.
Seriously. And so you did it all last night because
I did.
Because I forced you to.
You didn't force me.
No, I didn't, but
you
I
just
asked. I asked nicely. Please. All right, so we have the red wine in here. We have our tomatoes going into our braise. This will take about, if you do a good braise together nicely with the pork and the San Marzano tomatoes, this will take about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, so you get it to a point where you can eat it. If you're going to cook it a little longer than that, not a bad idea at all. So we're going to add some of the juice that comes in the can. I love buying tomatoes that have juice already in the can because that'll all come together. So we just kind of let that sit and have a good time.
You don't cover it or anything?
Oh, yeah, I do put a cover, but
Okay.
I don't have one handy.
Okay.
See, you have to bring that up.
I'm sorry.
It's a low-budget show, Wendy.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking about for when I made it,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
would
oh,
I
wait,
put the
here you
cover
go.
on it?
See, our cover. Our cover's. No, you don't want to put that on there now. All right. Don't worry about that. It's a low-budget show, Wendy. All right, we'll go back to this. In any other show, they would just cut away to something else.
Right.
We'll go back to our risotto, and our risotto we'll add some more water. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let this finish.
Okay.
We have our porcini mushrooms blooming.
Right.
We add the porcini mushrooms to this, Parmigiano butter. Once that's cooked down, we'll be ready to go, and we'll get to eat.
Chocolate cake.
Life is good. Where's my wine? Where's my wine?
Oh,
Oh,
here.
great. She kept it away from the broken glass. Cheers. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to A Culinary Journey. Wendy, we're almost there.
We are almost
We
there.
are. Cut the bracioles in half because I couldn't wait. I want to get to the chocolate cake. But yeah, no, what's great about it, like if we look at the 2 things we're making, we made these pork bracioles, right? And we did them with pork loin. So I got to cut them in half, and the cheese is starting to melt out into the sauce. And that's also going to add a lot of flavor. You got a ton of flavor into the sauce, too, which had just San Marzano tomatoes. We have the red wine in there. We have all the spices and herbs that are in the braciole, plus the meat and their fat. And and then now you understand why this was my famous last meal, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. And then the other thing we have here is our risotto. Now it's getting nice and rich and thick. And I got basically a little more stock I want to add. Now this is where I do the finish. I'm going to add my porcini mushrooms and my red wine. Now I add the red wine in. It's going to be like pretty potent. It's going to be right out there. And the porcini mushrooms, they're pretty much alive and just ready to rock, and they're pumped up again. And none of these are food terms, so I'm just going to keep going. And then the red wine. We'll let that cook out just a little bit. This is going to get a little Parmigiano cheese.
Nice.
And if you want, butter. But you don't have to do that. So, do you want me to do butter? Do we have enough?
Sure.
You do?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. I don't know if I could right now. Totally don't know. Let's just let that sit for a little bit. I'm going to make my plate up. Why don't you cut a piece of our cake?
All right.
And I'll get some plates for the braciole and the pork and the thing and the thing. And everybody, shh.
Did you hear the crunch?
Yeah, I hear the crunch. This is just wrong. There's something wrong about what's going on right now. Look at that thing.
It's falling
get
apart.
this. Oh, let it fall. Oh. Why do we even do the rest of the food today? It really doesn't even make any sense. That is amazing. Look at that thing. Oh,
It's a little messy, but...
Huh?
I said it's a little messy, but
Yeah.
still looks pretty good.
Isn't everything good messy? All right. So,
Should I do 2 pieces?
yes. One for everybody else, one for you, and the rest of the cake for me. That's where I'm going. And then we're going to try this out, too. You just a little bit of sauce on top of our braciole. Look at that, huh? Look at, we're just having a blast here. I cannot wait to get off camera and just eat. I'm too excited. A little parsley, fresh parsley on that. My famous last meal, guys. That's it right there. And that's just absolutely incredible. You can make this at home now, right?
Sure.
Listen, you made that by looking at a picture on the internet from, what's it called again? bitememore.com.
That's right.
And the sisters are Julia and Lisa. We'll give them a nice plug because that website is pretty cool. You get a lot of great recipes. It's all about entertaining, and there's no better way to entertain with a last meal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wait. You want to grab some milk?
Yes, I do.
You know what? If you want to make this part of the meal, have at it. Have a blast. If you want to make this part of the meal, the cake and everything, make sure you call me because I want to try your chocolate cake too. Seriously, is this today my birthday? Wendy, thank you. You're putting the milk away? Come back. We're kids. We don't put stuff away. we don't have to worry about grabbing milk. Cheers.
Cheers.
You had fun?
That was great.
Yeah?
Loved it.
All right. Hey, thank you. I hope you had a good time. We're here having a blast, and we'll see you all next time on a culinary journey. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Brought to you in part by Monadnock Flooring and Decorating, offering quality sales, service, and installation for over 35 years on Production Avenue next to Subaru of Keene.